All right, friends and family, welcome to Destiny Media again. You are highly welcome. Today news, Pastor ABEL has come again. Guys, I want every one of us to hear what Pastor ABEL said. He said, they are warming up to collect first fruit. They are warming up to collect first fruit, but we are going to scatter the table. He said that first fruit is not an offering. Guys, do you believe that? Do you believe that first fruit is not an offering? Let's dive into that matter, and we're going to come back here and discuss about it. And I'm going to reveal to you some little research that I have done about this first fruit of a thing. And I'm going to tell you my own stand on first fruit. Guys, let's watch it.
They're warming up to collect first fruit now. We will scatter that table.
Passover, we have what we call the Feast of Weeks, which is the first fruits. The Feast of Weeks refer to first fruit, which refers to the best. First fruit refers to the best, or first fruit refers to increase. You know, people that use the first fruit to manipulate people to collect their money, they use it. Every January, tell, okay, your first salary, bring it to the man of God. Your first profit in business, bring it. That's not what the Bible is teaching. That's just a manipulation. That's not what the Bible is teaching. First fruit is not an offering you give to a man of God. I'm a pastor. I should like first fruit, but I will not deceive you to collect your money. First fruit is not money you give to a man of God. First fruit is a symbolic communication. And I will show you the lesson that was communicated in the first fruit. Now, Jesus, when he died as the only begotten son. When he rose as the first begotten from the dead. And that resurrection will bring many sons unto glory. So the resurrection of Jesus is the first fruit of our faith. Resurrection of Jesus is the first fruit. His resurrection is the first fruit. Please don't miss that. Because our faith follows after the resurrection of Christ. So both spiritually and physically, Jesus is our first fruit. Look at first.
All right, my people, you have seen it all. You have seen it all. What ABEL have said about first fruit. Okay, we know very well that as the year is coming to an end and as the new year is coming up, first fruit is something that we do first thing in every year. First fruit means the first of your income, whatever comes in to your hand in the first time in a year, that's first fruit. And Pastor ABEL is telling us here that it is not right to collect first fruit. Guys, when you see that statement, he said that they are warming up to collect first fruit. And he said, we are going to scatter the table. What do you think about that statement? Do you think it's a statement of strength? Do you think it's a statement of revenge? Do you think that statement is made out of hatred? What do you think? Whatever you think about it, please tell me at the comment section before we dive into that matter. All right, let's go into the matter. The issue of first fruits, most of the time, it brings a lot of controversy. There are things that bring controversy in the Christendom. One of them is first fruit, just like tithing. First fruit is one of them that bring a lot of controversy. Many believe it, some don't believe it. So, in my own view, let's look into it. All right, first fruit, according to, let's go to the biblical reference about first fruit. Okay, first fruit, if you have to know, you need to know this, that first fruit is mentioned 32 times in the Bible. Do your research. First fruit, as we know it, is mentioned in the Bible 32 times. So when people tell you first fruit should not be collected by any pastor, do you think it's true? My question is this: if God that we are serving don't want us to collect first fruit, why is it going to mention it 32 times in the Bible? Why? Why is God able to mention first fruits 32 times in the Bible if he don't want us to pay first fruit? All right, let's look into it. The first time first fruit was mentioned in the Bible is Leviticus 23, 9 and 10. Let's look into that. All right, before I go into that, my view on first fruit. Is it right to pay first fruit? Yes, it is right. That's my own view. I don't know what is your own view. Whatever is your own view, please tell us at the comment section. Okay? Is it okay to give your first fruit? My view is yes. It's good for you to give your first fruit. It's not a must to give your first fruit, but it's good for you to give your first fruit. During this research on this first fruit, I have gone through a lot of research in the Bible, online, pastors, and I have come to understand, even before now, I have been paying my first fruit. I'm not telling you to do that, but what we do here is to give you the information, you make the decision. What I always say is this: when it's come to giving, especially in Christianity, the problem is not the giving. The problem is what men of God are doing with the money. This is what is bringing all this controversy. If some of the men of God are doing what they're supposed to do, I tell you, there will be no controversy. Yes. So because they have misused the fund, because they have misused the resources, that is why all these controversies, all this hatred are coming up. So let's go through, like I said, first fruit is mentioned 32 times in the Bible, both Old Testament and New Testament. People argue that first fruit is not in the New Testament, but I want to bring it to you that first fruit is in New Testament. But the question is, what did the Bible meant when the Bible talk about first fruit in New Testament? Let's dive into it, guys. So we are going to look into few. We cannot read the 32 places. Okay, we are going to just look into few of them. From there, we're going to make a conclusion, okay, on first fruit, and we're going to talk about what are the questions behind first fruit. What are the arguments that are behind first fruit? The first time first fruit was mentioned or is mentioned in the Bible is Leviticus 23, 9 and 10. Let's look at it. Okay, Leviticus 23, 9. The Lord speak unto Moses. 10. Speak unto the children. Lord is telling Moses now, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye be come into the land which I gave unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a shaft of the first fruit of your harvest. Okay, this is KJV. KJV say you have to bring, but you have to bring a shaft, which means a part. All right, here I want to note something, one more thing. Another question behind first fruits is this: some people say it is all, some people say it's some. Okay, we're going to go into it. Okay, Leviticus 23, 10 now. Okay, KJV say you have to bring some, a shaft of the first fruit. Amplified version say you have to bring a shaft of the first fruit. NLT say, give the following instruction unto the people of Israel. Then you enter. When you enter the land I am giving you, and you harvest its first crops, bring the priest a bundle of grain. Okay, NLT say a bundle of grain. A bundle of grain from the first cotton of your harvest. So from what you have seen here is this. Few versions said a part, but NLT says bring all. English Standard Version say, speak unto the people of Israel and say unto them, when you come into the land that I give to you, reap its harvest, and you shall bring a shaft. Okay, English Standard Version also say bring part, don't bring all. Okay, that is one of the places. Okay, let's look at Deuteronomy 26, 1 and 2. It's another place that the issue of first fruit was mentioned. Okay, so let's see if it's full or part. My view is it's good to pay your first fruit. I do pay my first fruit. Okay, but the question now is, are you going to pay full or are you going to pay half, like the Leviticus said here? All right, let's look at Deuteronomy 26. All right, Deuteronomy 26, 1 and 2. Let's see what it says here. Deuteronomy 26, 1 says, when you come into the land that the Lord God is giving unto you for an inheritance, and have taken possession of it, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which thou hast bring, that thou shalt bring of the land that the Lord God hath given unto thee, and shall put it in a basket. Okay, this one say, put it in a basket, and shall go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name there. All right, so this one say, bring to the priest, put it in a basket. All right, NLT say, put some. Okay, NLT say, put some of the first products from each crop. Okay, here NLT say, put some. KJV say, put all. All right, let's look at what English Standard Version say. English Standard Version say, you shall take some of the first fruit of all the fruit of the ground which you harvest from the land that the Lord your God is giving unto you, and you shall put it in a basket. So now we have established Leviticus and Deuteronomy. Most of them say put some. All right, some of them say put all. Okay, let's look at Exodus 34:26. That's another place that the Bible talked about first fruit. Exodus 34:26. All right, Exodus 34:26 says, the first of the fruit of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seek a kid in the mother's milk. All right, so this version Exodus say bring all. Okay, let's look at what Amplified say. Exodus 34:26 Amplified said, the first of the fruit of your ground you shall bring to the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil the kid in mother's milk. This one said bring all. NLT, as you harvest your crops, bring very best of the first harvest of to the house of the Lord. NLT say bring the best. It doesn't say bring all, it say bring the best. Okay, so these are the controversies that have surrounded it. All right, another place I want us to look is Romans 11:16. Romans 11:16 is another place where the issue is mentioned. Romans 11:16. Okay, Romans 11:16 say, if the part of the drought, okay, offered as fruitful is holy, then the whole bunch is holy. If the root is holy, so are the branches. Okay, but one thing, some people say first fruit is not mentioned in the New Testament. It is mentioned in the New Testament, but what does it mean? Here, the Bible doesn't really mean the first fruit of bringing first fruit. Rather, the Bible is talking about cutting off the people of God from God. So that is why some people will tell you the first fruit is not in the New Testament. The first fruit was mentioned in the New Testament, but it doesn't really mean bringing things to the house of God. So some people quote this out of context. Some people quote this out of context. All right. So this is the matter. The issue of first fruit have been abused. That is why all these things are happening. All right. That is why all these things are happening. Okay, let's look at Proverbs Proverbs 3, verse 9. It says, honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruit of all their increase. Okay, so Proverbs made it very clear. It said, honor the Lord your God with your substance and with the first fruit of whatever you get. All right, so the controversy or the argument or the issue here is this: are you going to pay first fruit or are you going to take part, like what some version of the Bible say? Are you going to take all or are you going to take part? All right, so when you look at Ezekiel 48:14, I'm just trying to give you some references where the Bible mentioned first fruit. Some of them, the Bible did not mean bringing first fruit to the church or to the priest. Okay, so we need to understand when the men of God they put this out of context. We need to understand. Okay, let's look at that. Ezekiel 48:14. Ezekiel 48:14. It says, and they shall not sell of it, neither exchange nor alienate the first fruit of the land, for it is holy unto the Lord. But when you read from this Ezekiel, when you read from 1 downwards, you will understand that God is not talking, the Bible is not talking about bringing first fruit to the pastor or bringing first fruit to the church. No. This is not what the Bible is saying here. Most of the pastors, they put here is out of context because this is not what the Bible is saying here. What the Bible is saying here is allocating the land, the one for the Levites and the one for the tribe of Judah and the one for the different tribes. This is what the Bible is saying here. Please, like what I used to say, make sure you know your God, make sure you know your Bible. If not, you will fall a victim. On this very, very verse that I read now, if you read here, you think that the Bible is saying about first fruit. But no, the Bible is saying about sharing the land to the children of Israel. So most of the time they quote here and add it to the scripture, while this is not what the Bible is saying here. Okay, let's go into it. The questions and the questions and the issue that have surrounded the issue of first fruits. That I say, I believe in first fruit. I give first fruit. Okay? I give first fruit. Whether it's half or full, I give my own full. That's my own belief. Don't give your first fruit or don't give anything out of compulsion. Give out of understanding, because if you do it out of understanding, the blessing will come to you. But if you do it out of fear, it doesn't work. Okay? Most of the times, these men of God, some of them, they use fear. They put fear in you so that you'll be able to give. But when you give in that condition, there's no blessing attached to it at all. Okay, let's look into the question, the issues that are surrounded first fruit. One, they say first fruit is not in New Testament. First fruit is not in New Testament. Actually, first fruit is in New Testament. But what the Bible was talking about in the New Testament is not bringing things to church or bringing things to pastor. All right? The Bible talked about first fruit in New Testament, but most of the times, the places they read for you in the New Testament is out of context. Few of them that are read here right now is not talking about bringing things to the pastor or bringing things to the priest. I'm talking about the New Testament. But the Old Testament, some say it verbatim. You have to bring your first fruit, which I believe. So the one controversy and one question and one queries behind first fruit is this: it is not in New Testament. Some people believe that if it's not in New Testament, it is not. We are not obliged to do it. But are we not doing other things that are in Old Testament that is not in New Testament? There are many of them that we are doing. So if you want to say you don't want to give first fruit based on is not in the New Testament, then you have to think about it. Most of the things, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, is in the Old Testament. There are things that are in Old Testament that are not in New Testament, but we are doing it today. So you need to think about it in that aspect. The second is, if God say give all, how are you going to survive? This is another question behind first fruit. If you are giving all, how are you going to survive? We know that in economy we are now, some people are feeding from what they get monthly. If you don't have savings and the Bible is telling you to give all, how are you going to survive? Is God an author of confusion? No. So from my view, I give my first fruit. It is encouraging to give your first fruit. But the question is this: are you going to give full, all, or are you going to give some? That one is up to you to do. But I believe that God is not an author of confusion. God will not let you to give all and go hungry. No, that is not God. God will not ask you to give all that you have and go hungry. So the second question has been established. If God is asking us for all in the month of January, how are we going to survive? The third question is this: in the Old Testament, it was not clear if it is full or partly. That is the next question that surrounds first fruit. Some say, I'm not giving it because I'm not sure if it's full or half. Because some Bible said give full. Some Bible said give part. So some people are still in this issue of, I'm not giving this first fruit because I'm not sure, is it to give half or to give full? But I wanna advise you from my own viewpoint, be convinced in your mind. My own view is this. My view might not be the best, okay? But what I'm doing is what I'm telling you. If you think you are okay with giving full, give full. If you think if you give full, you go hungry, don't give full. That's my own view. All right, let's go back to what ABEL DAMINA said about first fruits, and let's also deep into it, because during this my research, I saw some of the messages Pastor ABEL DAMINA preached about this first fruit, and I'm going to point out a few things on this. ABEL DAMINA said, the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the first fruit. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is the first fruit. He also said that Christ he said that Christ is the first fruit, not money. And he read 1 Corinthians 15, 20, 21. Let me see if I have it here. 1 Corinthians 15, 20, and 21. Right? Hold on. 1 Corinthians. That is where Pastor ABEL DAMINA read in one of his messages. Right? 1 Corinthians 15, 20, and 21. All right. 1 Corinthians 15, 20. But now is Christ risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. Are you them that slept? That's the question. All right, let's read 21. It says, for since by man comes death, by man also come resurrection of the dead. So in this very verse that ABEL DAMINA quoted here in one of his messages, God is not talking about first fruit literally. God is talking about death and resurrection. What God is trying to say here is this: the Bible is trying to say that Jesus is the first of them that died and resurrected. That's what I understand. That Jesus is the first of them that died and resurrected, because he says that the first fruit of them that are asleep. The first fruit of them that are asleep. Let's read it with another version. Okay, let's read it with NLT. You see, but in fact, Jesus has been risen from the dead. He is the first of the great harvest of all who have died. Have you died? That's the question. That is the question. So this channel, I mean, we are committed to bringing the good news. Okay, it's not to put anyone down, but we want to bring it on a balance. Many pastors have said this. Okay, many pastors have said this. Many of them understand and they say give first fruit. But Pastor ABEL DAMINA is saying no first fruit. But from what he's saying here, the Bible is not literally talking about first fruit. The Bible is talking about Jesus being the first to resurrect. That's my understanding. Whatever is your understanding, please tell me at the comment section. Okay? First fruit. The first fruit. One thing we need to understand. When we talk about first fruits, the Bible that you have and I have, okay? First fruits in New Testament and first fruits in Old Testament, most of the time they are different. They have different. Okay, so whatever you are doing in the house of God, let it be with understanding. If there is no understanding, there's no need to do it. If you do it, it's a waste of time. All right. So whenever things like this come up, try to research it. Try to know exactly why is the Bible saying this, so that when someone quotes it out of concept, you will understand. When someone misquotes it, you will be able to understand. So guys, this is my thought. This is my thought. I don't know what is your thought about this. Please tell us at comment section. I took my time to research this. Whatever is your own, please let us know. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please try to subscribe. Your subscription will help so that each time we drop a video, you'll be able to see it. Thank you so much. Kudos, guys.